weather and bugs. Not fun.
Okay, there's not fun, but there possibly is fun with this movie called Kill. What a horrible title in the sense that, my gosh, it scares me. A title that just says kill could either give you nightmares, or maybe if you are a bloodthirsty type of cinephile, it might draw you to the theaters. This is an Indian film, Indian cinema, and it centers on star-crossed lovers Tulika, played by Tanya Maniktala, and Amrit, played by Lakshya. And they are secret lovers. Okay, that's what they are, right? They have a clandestine relationship. And what happens is after Tulika, she is promised to another man. She and her family are whisked aboard the Rajani Express. I apologize for these mispronunciations. They are bound on a train bound for New Delhi for this arranged marriage. Now, what happens is Amrit, again played by Lakshya, he is determined to stop this marriage, and he's trying to save his lover, his soulmate, from actually marrying this dude. The problem is there's a couple of factions that invade the train, leading to all-out violence. And the rest of the film, most of it, takes place in the train while Amrit tries his best to save Tulika and her family from these baddies. And what happens is just a lot of violence and fighting occur in Kill. And that's essentially the movie. 115 minutes, rated R, exclusively in theaters July 4th. My personal prediction is Eric Holmes loved Kill, and he's going to give it possibly maybe 4 to 4.5 stars. I could be wrong. Eric, what say you about Kill?
Kill is essentially the raid on a train. And that's not much more to say than that. It definitely has like a Bollywood kind of feel to it. Not like they don't like dance and everything. And it doesn't get quite that ridiculous, but there are like some kind of DNA, similar DNA to that. But it's also got some John Wick and Ray DNA. Like the fight scenes are really cool, and the fact that it's on a train. It's like, I don't know if you saw Bullet Train, but like
Yes, I did.
the
I
cars in
like
the
this
train.
better than Bullet Train. I like
Yeah,
this just
this one's a lot more claustrophobic because in Bullet Train, like the cars are, the train's real wide, and there's a lot of room to, get a good running start and do a bunch of stuff. In this, you're like, everyone's kind of cramped in.
right.
And I think a cool thing about that is like, typically you'll watch a fight out in the open and there's one guy versus like 10 guys, and just one person at a time comes up, and you're like, why don't all 10 just jump them? Well, in the train, when it's so narrow, you're, bottlenecked in, kind of like what they did in 300. So you can only fight one person at a time. Of course, like when they come up behind you, that makes it tough. A lot of the action scenes and like the kills, they use just about every bit of the train that you can think of, and then they even bring in some things in the train where like, I don't know where they got the grappling hook from, but sure, fine. Why not? Um, but yeah, it's real inventive, real crazy, but not so crazy. It's like, it's still sort of grounded, but it was incredibly fun and creative, and I liked it a lot. And the story was simple enough. Like, I guess it kind of got a little convoluted sort of towards the beginning, but once you get the main gist of what's going on, then it just kind of becomes straight action. Which I guess could be a problem for some people. Like, I can imagine Anderson watching this and just, the movie just kind of glazing over him, and his, eyes getting heavy and heavy, watching, because he doesn't like that kind of stuff usually. But for those who like The Raid, for those who like John Wick, those kind of movies, I think this is kind of on that level.
Yes. This is close to a movie that all three of us reviewed earlier this year, Mayhem. Almost reaches it. I think it gets close to it. Mayhem is still my favorite action film this year. I don't know about you, Eric,
Yeah,
but or
same.
was it? Yeah, I just love that film so much. But there are things that happen in Kill which makes this movie to me not as derivative as one would think. So there's a couple of nice curveballs that are thrown in the plot that I appreciated. And for 115 minutes, I was completely enthralled with all of the action. It did not lose its momentum for me. Overall, I highly recommend Kill. I'm giving it, I think also that Lakshya, he could be a possible future action star, if not a star, period. He's very good in the lead role. Love the third act wrap up as well. My rating for Kill is 4.5 stars. So that again on in theaters July 4th, exclusively in theaters. What about you, Eric?
I think I might go 4 stars on this. Kind of leaning towards 4.5, but I think I'll go 4 just because like the fighting is unrelenting. So after a while, it gets to be a bit too much. But then again, like they still have a little bit like little emotional moments here, so you can kind of take a breath and tear up or feel a certain way about someone. Sometimes it gets silly, and it doesn't quite work, but other times it does. But overall, really good. And I did not know this was playing in theaters. Is it playing in theaters like wide release, or is it playing in
Yeah,
theaters like
wide
in
release.
New York and
I
LA?
believe I believe wide release exclusively in theaters. So
Yeah, if
it's
you
out
can
there.
watch this in the theater, do it. I had no idea it would do that, but I can imagine seeing this in the theater and changing from 4 to 4.5.
Okay. 4 stars for Eric Holmes, 4.5 stars for me for Kill, exclusively in theaters July 4th.
This is Cinematics.